When The Ring came out in America in 2002, it was a smash hit horror movie and was one of the movies that brought Japanese horror into the forefront of the horror genre. Not since Poltergeist has it been so scary to look into the flickering static of a television set. Whether you like the original Japanese version with Sadako, or the American remake with Samara, or you think they both are crap, you have to admit that the first Ring movie had a certain creepiness to it. Samara was a horror icon from the first moment she stepped foot onto, or rather, out of, the screen. It is discovered later in the movie that the haunting spirit that comes to kill people 7 days after watching a cursed VHS tape is actually the tortured spirit of a little girl that no one really cared about. Wait, what's a VHS tape, you ask? Well, it's like a magnetized ribbon or tape in a cartridge that had a movie on it, and we had to put it into this device called a VCR in order to watch it. And when the movie was over, we had to sit there and let the tape rewind. Otherwise, the next time someone would go to watch it, they would have to sit there and wait for it to rewind themselves. Be kind. Rewind. Anyway, Samara was eventually cast into a well, never to be seen again. All the best horror villains have tragic backstories, and just like all the other horror movie villains, that wasn't the last anyone's seen of Samara. This movie pulls on a lot of fears within people, and is a great story, but I think they may have gotten some inspiration from a few different legends for this movie. Let's start with the cursed videotape that, when watched, causes Samara to hunt you down and kill you after 7 days. There have been many cursed forms of entertainment throughout history. The Scottish play, or the Bard's play, are two names given to a famous play by William Shakespeare, because it is believed that simply saying the name within a theater is welcoming bad luck. The superstitious believe that many bad things can be attributed to the play, including the Astor Place riot in 1849, injuries sustained by actors during a 1937 performance, Diana Wynard stumbling and falling 15 feet during the sleepwalking scene in the play, and even burns suffered by Charlton Heston in 1954. There have been said to have been curses on movies such as The Exorcist, The Omen, and Poltergeist, where a few members of the cast and crew were seriously injured or even straight up died in extremely unusual circumstances. Very similar to this, I just wrote a creepypasta for Sociopathic Pasta titled Coast to Coast about the devil, which mysteriously saved over itself with blank space twice, and I had to rewrite half of it twice. So, yeah, hopefully it stops there. However, the idea for the cursed videotape seems to come from a Japanese urban legend of a cursed poem. The poem was written by Yamato Inuhiko in a book titled The Heart is Like a Rolling Stone, and was also included in Saizo Yasuo's 27th collection of poems, published in 1919. Notice I didn't name the poem? I don't need any more bad luck. It is said you must only read the poem in your mind, for if you read it aloud, terrible things will happen to you. This is very much like the curse of viewing the videotape in The Ring. This is not the only inspiration for The Ring, however. There is another legend, this one about Samara, or rather, Okiku. The legend of Okiku's ghost tells of a girl named Ukiku, who was the servant of a samurai named Tessen Oyama. Oyama grew to have feelings for Ukiku and told her that he would leave his wife for her. She turned him down, and this enraged him, so if he could not get her love willingly, then he would force her obedience to him. One of Ukiku's duties was to look after 10 highly valuable golden plates that were owned by Oyama. I don't know what these plates were, if they were some kind of religious thing, or if he just had 10 golden dinner plates that he ate off of like a greedy butt. But one day, the samurai devised a plan to hide one of the plates and blame it on Okiku. This allowed him to hold her captive in accusation of her theft. The sadistic Oyama tied her up over a well and would repeatedly lower her into the cold waters of the well before lifting her back up again to hit her repeatedly, before lowering her into the well once again. In one version of the story, it ends with Ukiku throwing herself into the very same well to end her life, while other versions of the story end with Oyama throwing Ukiku into the well, or offering her one last chance at marrying him, before she again turns him down, because no one wants to marry an evil turd waffle. At which point he cuts the rope, sending her plunging into the waters below. Okiku would then return from night to night to recount the plates, presumably after dinner time. becoming enraged when each time she could not find the 10th golden plate. The image of Ukiku with the dark flowing hair and the white dress is very similar to that of Samara. This is usually the look of people who have died of unnatural circumstances in Japan. These ghosts are called yurei, which translates to either dim spirit or faint soul. These ethereal women are usually buried in white kimonos with their hair down instead of pinned up. The well in which Ukiku reportedly died is still there today outside Himeji Castle in the western Japanese city of Himeji, Hyogo. People still refer to it as Okiku's Well. However, today it has some pillars around it and some caging covering its opening. Perhaps to keep Ukiku from rising again? Probably more likely to keep dumb tourists from joining her. What did you think about this video? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been Doughboy with Hardcore Academy, and peace out.